We got our new camper light. It's got different shades of dimness, brightness, dimness. It's got an on-off switch. Somewhere it's got an on-off switch. I know I turned it off. Anyway, so those wires come up. They came with a little wire nut, so we pigtailed it through the old hole and then ran a telephone type cable up here, across there, came across the ceiling. Since these are all low voltage stuff anyways, it doesn't take a lot. So we got LED lights, and we have, oh, that goes up, that goes down, and then we're gonna blow air out. Yay. And then it's got a rain sensor on there, so you can, so if it starts raining, it automatically closes it. It's got a fuse in here, which is super handy because I bought one that had a blown fuse, or it blew the board because somebody had already tried to install it. So it's not very helpful. Get some of my gunk off of there. So anyway, there's the finished product on there. Really like that light. That's real nice. Adds a lot to it. And then this is just standard wall track for all electrical wiring to cover up the wire, because this didn't have power over here. Ta-da! Done. On this episode of Everything is Stupid, I got track put up in here. I used some wire staples to hold that little track system up. I'll probably frame around it with something, I'm not sure yet, but anyway, at least it's up. And then I took these little corner pieces off in here because they looked absolutely ridiculous, and they really, there's nothing you can do with them. They just look trashy. So my next step is to start using these planks to do this back wall, and then I may do these walls too. I tried this wallpaper stuff and it was the biggest nightmare. I don't ever want to do it again. I learned some things. First of all, you need to put some kind of glue on this wall before you stick this stuff to it, because it does not adhere well enough, especially with the moisture that gets built up inside a camper. But it covered a lot of those ugly spots, and it looks better than the old wall did. If that's all I got out of it, it made me feel a little bit better for a minute. So we'll take the win on that and move on. So first thing to do is to start doing the layout to get these boards so I can cut out around there. And I elected not to go with this stuff, even though this is probably fine. I don't know why I didn't like it, I just didn't, but it's fine for this room. I just didn't want to do the whole thing in it because I thought it would be overwhelming. So I'm going to use that other stuff and do this wall back here as well. And so that way I'll have a whole lot less screwing around with the walls to try to get them perfect. And it's just going to cover things up, and it's lightweight. And if it gets a little stain on it, it's not going to show, so it's going to hide a lot of sin. So I tried some dry brush stuff in here with not much. I'm not really satisfied with it. Everything was too humid is the biggest problem, so I couldn't get stuff dry enough to make it work correctly. And I got my fan up in here, so at least I got some lights and fan and got that going. I got a couple more lights that probably hook up in here. I got more lights stuck up in here, and got that fan going. That light bulb works if I jiggle it, so I'll probably replace it with something. And then I've got some tile to do this wall, maybe around this corner. I may take that corner piece out like I did on the other. And then I'm going to use some regular tile and do a backsplash on this wall, which means I need to pull everything off of there in order to get back there. That's a really small space with lots of cuts, and it's really jacked up, so it's going to be very difficult. But once I get all this with tile on it all through here, I think it's going to really look nice and make this thing pop. I'm going to do this wall also, and then that way it gives me a little bit more of a flame proof surface there for cooking and something that you can actually clean up. So I'm going to use regular sheet tile with grout. All right, this stuff seems like it's going on pretty good, and I'm cheating here. You can see where I got my mark at. I'm taking that much off. That way I can get one straight line across the bottom of this window. Also, that hits right where the angle changes. So this is a little bit wide, but that's fine. It'll match everything up, and then I'll be back in alignment for going straight across down here. Now that I'm down here where the spare tire goes through, I can cut a piece of plywood for this headboard, because now it's one straight piece, and go from one side here to the other, and then take these bolts out and pull that spare tire so I can remount it, and then I can get some of that expanding foam going behind there and build that up. So it's because that was the main place where it was leaking on this back here. So if I fill the holes up, then I won't have a place to leak. So, but I think it looks better already. That's way better than what I had. So I started cutting from the back side on all this to keep the little splinters from tagging out, like you see up there. But I'm gonna get some stain, and once you stain those, it'll be fine. So anyways, keep on going. I've got the spare tire off, and you can see this thing is really not good. So I may need to develop some kind of a steel plate that fits on the inside or something to get this thing so it actually attaches better, because this is, I'm surprised it's still on there. But anyway, I tried to stick vice grips on here and turn this off. It just crumbling this all up and won't even get a hold of it. So I'm gonna cut it off with the Sawzall probably. Okay, so I took some of the expanding foam and I put it in behind there, filled up the hole, and then stuck a 2x10 in there to fill up the rest of the space, because all the wood behind there was rotted. So I dug it all out of there, and then I'm gonna put a piece that spans all the way across and screw that into there, and then have probably lag bolts that go through that board to the outside. Yay. All right, well, that little mess is drying over there. I'm gonna start working on this wall, take the blinds down, which those things are just gaudy and huge, and I want something a little bit more streamlined and sexy on that. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting the wood up on here, and I think what I'm gonna do is start with this bottom ledge and go wall to wall, because that's kind of the height of where everything comes out to anyway, and then I'll fill in my pieces and then finish the top strip. All right, so we got this wall all dressed up. It's looking pretty decent, so I need to build a bench in here to put the couch on, and bada bing, bada boom. And our stuff's dry back here, so we can figure out what we're gonna do on the rest of that. But I do believe I'm gonna cover these side walls because I got more materials, so I think that'll look better once it looks like that. I drilled new holes for the bolts coming through this side, going to the inside. Now that I got that established, I can push these back through and put some seal tape on here, and then that way hopefully that'll keep that from leaking back in there and causing that problem in the future. Yay. Got the beetle tape on there, put the bolts back through with the plywood on the back. Plywood is on the inside, bolts are through. I'm gonna fill in that little piece. All right, here's my jumping off spot for the evening. Got around that window, down that wall, still got this wall to do. So hopefully I got enough material. It's gonna be really close.